Good morning, everybody. This is Xianliang with Morsels of a Thought, number 1262. Today I'm in California. As you can see, my background is still like this because I am still getting everything fixed, including my lamp, which would have allowed me to sit back further over there that way, but I can't because there's no lighting over there. If I were to sit there, you wouldn't see me much. You'd see something like this. So I'm over here by the lights. Um, so today we are on Sunday, which is my grass soup day, which is my Zhang Xianliang day. Zhang Xianliang. He is a former political prisoner in China. I'm not going to be able to read that many pages because where I'm sitting is not very comfortable. I have to practically stand on my shin here, so where I am is not that comfortable. So I'll probably just read a few pages today. Right now we are on the 13th of July. This is a new entry, the 13th of July. Dismantled Kang in duck shed. Finished shine on crimson rays. Now, a Kang is something pronounced in Chinese like Kang, the fourth tone, emphasis on the word Kang. And what it is it's kind of a big bed, but it's designed so that it can be used in where it is, like think of Maine in the United States. Dongbei in China is pretty much in that equivalent latitude and orientation to the rest of the country. And it's very cold there. The bed is made so that there can be a flame held underneath it. It's like some kind of I guess it's a candle. I'm not sure if it's a candle or if it's just embers or a small fire. But what it is a small fire underneath the bed, and it's made so that you have to have that thing going for 3 days before the entire bed will warm up. And that's how small the flame is, just for safety reasons. And I had a friend who went there to China on a mission. He was Christian, and he is Christian, and he went there on a mission to spread the gospel as he saw fit. And he had to sleep in a kang. And he said what happened was the next morning his hair was glued to the headboard like icicles. That's how cold he was overnight. So I guess they probably didn't stay there three full days. That I don't know, but I've been told. So that's what it's called. He had to dismantle a khan, is what the author says. Okay. The duck shed was originally on a peninsula at the edge of the lake. That was where it had. Hold on, let me get rid of this distraction over here because I had not done that earlier. Okay, so I have to give it everything I've got. Oh, this distraction. Okay, here we go. Media volume, alarm volume. There we go. All right, all down. The duck shed was originally on a peninsula at the edge of the lake. That was where it had first been built by the old commissar and the dozen cadres he brought in at the start of the camp. It could be considered the camp's earliest piece of capital construction. At the beginning, they did indeed keep ducks at this place, and there were still a few mouth-watering ducks around. They eat them. But mainly what lived inside the duck shed now were convicts. Duck raising had become a sideline. Almost all the convicts worked in the fields raising crops. In the authorized documents, this place was counted as a station at the camp, capital S, but people still called it the duck shed. No doubt the name will go on forever, even when the ducks have long since been eaten, like a lot of place names in China that once had some real meaning. The peninsula, too, had changed. It had become a small hill on a marshy sweep of land. From the duck shed, one became aware of the old commissar's vision. You could see why he rejected everyone else's opinion and decided to set up a farm here. Back then, the whole area was a lake, including the labor reform camp and all that surrounded it. The water was deep blue and so clear you could see the bottom. Reeds along the marshy perimeter grew several meters high. According to old-timers back then, foot-long grass carp would jump straight out of the water and land on the bank. The pigs that local farmers raised stayed by the shores of the lake just waiting for such fish to eat. The old commissar had made his decision, however, and he declared, "A place that can grow grass is a place that can grow crops." Convicts started shouldering baskets of earth, carrying them one by one from a distant place. Slowly they filled in the lake. It is impossible to calculate how many cubic square meters of land had to be transported basketful by basketful by basketful on the backs of men in order to fill a lake that once covered such a large area. A small part of the lake remains today, and the scene is still lovely. When a summer breeze blows across the water, the reeds whisper to one another, and the wind over what remains of the natural lake accompanies them with an echo, like an old woman chanting in a low voice. At noon, a heavy fog rises, and the calls of water birds reverberate over the water's mirror-like surface. The occasional water bird spreads his wings and takes off, then settles on top of the forest of reeds after circling like the sound of a song. The sight of it takes convicts back in their thoughts to another world. But if you disregard scenery that galvanizes the emotions, that grips the bowels, and use a practical eye to assess this natural beauty so like the famous watery landscapes of southern China, then you might be able to conceive of the possibility of bringing men to this place to build a large scale state farm. When convicts first started to haul dirt on their backs and build fields here, it was impossible to produce any grain. Fish and ducks were the only things they could raise to eat. People from northern Shanxi don't like fish, and they don't know how to raise them. Ducks are different. Ducks taste good and are simple to feed. You herd the flock down to the lake at the start of the day, and that's about it. At night, the ducks come home voluntarily on their own. Plus, you have the added benefit of a lot of duck eggs. The old commissar decided that first they would raise ducks here. The sun was high by the time I sauntered slowly down to the duck shed from where I lived. I went all by myself, at least for now. For the present, for this moment, I was a convict who could be trusted. I wanted to use this wonderful moment to the utmost. I gazed out over the scenery of the lake along the way as long as I wanted to, even as I tried to ascertain if there was something around to eat. If my luck was good, who's to say I might run into a local villager on the road? I still had a few coins in my pocket. Perhaps I could buy some potatoes. Most of the buildings comprising the duck shed were, of course, duck sheds. Okay, duck shed with a capital D versus, okay. They were even more primitive than the clod pile, Gandale, I lived in. They had only 3 walls. The open side had a kind of gate made of reeds. It blocked the rain, but not the wind. Although it reeked of duck shit inside, the air was actually quite fresh. The main drawback to living there was that it was only about 1.5 meters tall. You had to do everything bent over at the waist except when you lay down to sleep. Since it had originally had ducks living in it, and since people could not sleep directly on the damp, shitty ground, they had built kongs, a kind of platform bed, inside for the convicts. Getting on and off the Kong was like pulling out a drawer. You pushed yourself in and pulled yourself out. Today, I worked as as assistant to a big worker. I helped him dismantle the dirt clods of a Kong and move them out into the yard. It was summer now, and the bed was unnecessary, so the clods would be better used as fertilizer. Whew. To do this, the big worker and I had to work sitting down. Although it was inconvenient, it was actually quite comfortable. I thought it strange that they should order me to do such a simple job. Could they not have had a convict who actually lived in the duck shed to do it? Okay. You can't trust a convict from the duck shed, the big worker told me. Hell, they're all thieves. If you let them stay at home, that'd be the end of all the ducks and duck eggs. And when he said home, he meant these duck sheds, and specifically the narrow kongs or bunks that the convicts slept on. Most of the convicts in the duck shed station were those who had committed real crimes, and this kind of person was unreliable. I had been home for over 700 days and knew quite well that men in this world and on the outside were judged by different standards. In the outside world, the most unreliable men, namely political convicts, were the ones who were considered most dependable here in the camps. Rightists, historical counter-revolutionaries, and all kinds of thought criminals who did not dare escape, did not dare talk back, did not dare be disobedient or make trouble. With criminal convicts, it was the opposite. It was impossible to change their old habits. Okay, I'm going to hold it here on page 48 because this is incredibly uncomfortable. I wouldn't last a day in that sort of a place that I'm describing in this book. Now, this book is really very interesting. The first time I read it was over 20 years ago, and I had found it in a bookstore. Are you eating that cardboard? Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Hold on. Let's get a little bit of scenery over here. Come on over here. Yeah, good girl. Yes, you are such a good girl. Yes, you are such a good girl. You eat. Do you have pica? Do you have pica? Do you eat cardboard? Huh? You eat cardboard? Yes. Yes, you do. That's good. That's good. Not good as in good eating, but good girl. Okay, so this is little Fira. Malinki Fira. She's a little kitty cat. Yes, you are. You're the youngest one. Yes, we are. Okay, I'm gonna put you down so I can turn off the TV. Okay. Ooh ah. Ooh ah. Ooh ah. Ooh ah. Goodness gracious, this girl has claws. Alrighty, so I will talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a miscellaneous Monday Marcus Aurelius Meditations Day. All right. Okay. Old Kinderhook. Bye bye.